So this is day 2 of the 30-day camera challenge. And so today I'm focusing on the 3 basics, which are making eye contact with the camera, using nonverbal communication with my hand gestures and whatnot. And I did a pre kind of warm up, so hopefully I look a little bit relaxed. But today, what I'm going to talk about, since I have 5 to 10 minutes to talk about anything, is I decided to talk about a little challenge that I did today. So instead of just eating dinner at my apartment, alone, most of my friends are out of the city right now, I decided to go to a local restaurant called Thai Market, and I just went alone, and I decided to leave my phone behind, and instead brought a book. And so the book that I brought was Confessions of Real Estate Entrepreneur. I just started it, so that's why I forgot the name. And what I got was a Pad CU. It's the best at this place. And something that was really cool was I sat down, they kind of already recognized me, and the lady who took my order already just said, Pad CU beef, and I was like, yep, she got it right, and she knew it. So that made it really easy, and that was kind of nice. Like, she kind of recognized me, and she already knew my order, so that already made me feel good. Then, while I was waiting for the food, I started reading, and that was also interesting. Reading in public wasn't necessarily difficult. I didn't really care. I didn't really think that anybody was watching or really cared. If anything, I'd think they'd say, good for this kid for bringing a book and sitting alone and reading at dinner. But the thing that did surprise me was how hard it was for me to actually concentrate on reading. I never have really focused on the ambience too much or listening to other people's conversations, but I found that naturally today, my mind just started picking up on the conversations going on all around me. And so whenever something intriguing would be said or they'd order something that sounded good, I'd kind of perk up, which I probably shouldn't have done. But yeah, I did my best and I read as much as I could in the time that I had there. And there was something that was really interesting that I picked up. So I'm going to try and convey the lesson in the first chapter of the book to you guys. So the book is written by James A. Randall. He's a real estate attorney, and he's also a real estate broker. He's also a real estate investor for at least 25 years now. I think this book was written a while ago. So he's an experienced real estate guy, and he's seen a lot of deals through his professional, career. And he starts off by giving kind of a brief overview of the mindset to have with investing, and his take is obviously, anyone who says it's get rich quick, it's going to be easy. He said, if you think you're not going to take any risk, that's all obviously a lie. But the more profound thing that I took away from the first chapter was a story that he went into. And so the story was of 2 of his early clients. He calls them friends in the book because now they're friends. But these 2 clients had found a property that was triple net, which means that they are paying not only the lease, but for also the utilities of the building. And so their lease was about $666,000 a year, and the property was valued at around $5.5 million. And they were looking to acquire this property, and they realized that they could buy this property for 0 money down. And the way they did that was they were able to get a $4.5 million loan from the bank. But then there was already in the existing clause with the previous owner, the tenant had a $1 million subordinate clause already there. And so they were able to work into the new deal that they'd have $4.5 million sitting up top, then the remaining $1 million below. And it wasn't just so easy for them. They had to fight for it, and they had to be really entrepreneurial for it. So what they did in response to the lender, because the lender said, well, why should we give you this deal if you're not going to put any money down? And they said, actually, we are putting money down. We're putting $100,000 down and all the closing costs and fees that are going into it. So we do have skin in the game. And we obviously want this property to succeed. And then on the flip side, for the tenant was like, well, why should we continue doing this? And they basically made the argument that they're currently paying $55,000 a month. And if they did this new loan and kept the subordinate loan underneath, meaning the tenants kept their money within, they would reduce their rent by a little bit, since the new loan, the monthly payment would be $30,000 to them. So they could actually afford to reduce the rent and basically get this building for free. And they ended up lucking out, or their strategy worked for them, because the tenant ended up finding a subleaser And the new company that was going to sublease it, agreed to a clause where after 5 years, their rent would be raised by $100,000, which automatically makes the value of the property more valuable. But they also they were about to be acquired by a AAA rated company, which was a Fortune 100 company. And what that basically meant was this building not only went from a tenant who had a really bad credit rating, it now went to somebody who was very reputable. And this also increased the value of the building because now the banks have less risk. They know, or they had a guarantor from one of these huge companies that's basically saying, hey, we're ensuring that this company that we're buying will be paying their lease, and they'll be paying on time, and they'll be taking care of that. And instantly, just like that, the value of the property was raised, but they had no money down. So their equity in the deal automatically went up, and they basically made $3 million off of the 100 that they put in, basically just for being good negotiators, for being entrepreneurial, and for handling objections well, and just being savvy about how to structure a deal. So I thought that was a cool way of looking at how a real estate deal could be made. And this has been my time. I made it through day 2, and I'll see you tomorrow for day 3. And maybe I'll shave and get a haircut.